Well, let's get back to the big news of this week, the weather-aware day that we are expecting tomorrow. We did want to show you some video from Texas showing what the rain and straight line winds left behind there. And so, yeah, you could see the impacts. Similar, I guess we would expect. A lot of perhaps downed trees or power outages or.
To me, that's what I look at in this setup. As you get closer to the storm, you start seeing are things verifying to the west, like what's happening to the west. And tonight we're seeing a lot of these type of damage reports over in northern Alabama, southern Tennessee, that Tennessee Valley. And that would just continue to push these. That's telling me we're getting wind down to the surface already to our west. And tomorrow, one of the biggest issues is going to be power outages. And again, winds are one thing, but when you combine that with heavy rain like we're going to see tomorrow, our weather outage risk is pretty high tomorrow. It's one of the higher ones we've had in a while because of the combination of the wind and the rain. Knocking down trees and eventually power lines. You saturate the soil and these winds gust for several hours. Again, it's not going to be 50-mile-per-hour winds sustained, but those gusts up to 50 and then sustained 20 to 30, that will eventually work over some trees. It'll get them rocking back and forth, and eventually some will come down as we get late in the day. Already have the rain heading our way. It's going to be raining by the time you wake up tomorrow. You'll hear it coming down tonight. The area I'm talking about, so see this area in southern Tennessee, northern Alabama, now northern Georgia, getting a lot of reports from emergency managers in there of non-thunderstorm winds. That means straight line winds knocking down trees and causing damage that are not associated with thunderstorms. And that's really the concern with this. It's kind of like you would see in a tropical system. Now, the severe weather risk is highest along the Gulf Coast tonight. Tomorrow, it will be mainly confined to the coast, but parts of our area, especially south and east of I-85, got to watch that area closely tomorrow for potentially strong or severe storms. The tornado parameter is not off the charts, which is good news, but there is a little uptick right there. 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon across Lancaster, out towards Anson, Chesterfield and Richmond County, but it does move out fairly quickly. I think the risk overall is low. The bigger risk is this, even severe thunderstorms, the hatched area, that means there's a significant chance of 75-mile-per-hour winds within that area. So we got to watch for winds within the thunderstorms on top of the winds that are outside of thunderstorms. So it's kind of a double whammy. The tornado risk, you can see 5% risk across Charlotte South, a little bit higher. Those areas are south and east. That means significant risk of EF2 or higher tornadoes. So just not weak tornadoes, significant tornadoes. I'll show you the futurecast again for the timing, and you'll wake up to this. And I think it's a good call by a lot of school districts tomorrow to just go ahead and have cancel classes or do e-learning, though I hope the E part of that, the electricity, stays on because the southerly winds are going to be howling. And then by mid to late afternoon, we're going to have plenty of wind and rain. But the good news is it should come to an end around 5, 6, 7 o'clock. So by dinner time, things will start to wind down, but it's still going to be breezy. Don't get me wrong. The winds will still be howling, just changing direction. So your hour-by-hour setup here kind of shows you how this is going to unfold. So this is the impacts and timing. Look at that, 9 a.m. to about 7 p.m. That really is the height of the storm, but the power outages might linger well into the evening hours. Those strong winds are above our head, up around 15,000 feet. You see that jet streak? That's what's mixing down to the surface. And when you see these strong storms, they take that wind above and mix it down to the surface. And even at 5,000 feet, those winds are close to 75 miles per hour. So if you take about a third of that or a half of that down to the surface, that's how you end up with 40 to 60 mile per hour winds at times mixing down. And those winds will stay howling right through Wednesday, even though they'll be much weaker at times. So the wind forecast for tomorrow, notice how the winds are out of the southeast. The gusts start to ramp up, and by the middle of the afternoon, they shift to the south, and we see gusts up to 60 miles per hour possible in the afternoon. The rain totals, pretty heavy, especially in the mountains and foothills. With rapid runoff, this is why we could see flash flooding throughout the afternoon and evening. Again, some of those lingering issues. So good time to really, even if you have time tonight or early tomorrow, go out and secure those things right now. Maybe take the flag down before you go to bed. Charge everything up and make sure you have a way to get warnings tomorrow. A good way to do that, download the WCNC News app. Scan this QR code right now. You can grab that app. Make sure you have that and it's fully charged, because then we'll stream any information and send out those alerts throughout the afternoon. Now, we've got another storm to keep an eye on later this week. It doesn't look as strong as tomorrow, but your Guy Roofing 7-day forecast, Friday could be another windy, wet day before we cool off going into next week. And then talk about winter, some cold temperatures next week. After MLK Day, we might see a wintry mix next Tuesday. Keeping an eye on that, low 40s for highs and maybe a little bit of precipitation there.
Oh my. All right, Brad, thank you.